So I am making a video covering recent events and how they played out today. You can notice that I'm not at work when I usually am because I have been suspended for the day because yesterday I clocked out at 4 o'clock because I was wanting to go home, and I was walking out the door already clocked out, and my manager, general manager, warehouse manager, Dan Nicholas, races over on his forklift he was on, starts interrogating me as usual. He asked me where I was going. I said I was going home. He then asked me if I got my boss's permission to leave, which is a red flag. Like I said in my previous videos, they try to guilt trip you and make it like it's a prison. And I lied. I lied and said yes, so he'd leave me alone. Then he goes and does and, oh, you can't stay a little longer. Of course, I reply with, I've been there since 6 o'clock in the morning, which was a 10-hour shift yesterday, if you can do the math correctly. Which, of course, then he drives off and leaves me alone finally, so I could leave on time when I was scheduled, which I was already clocked out. So I come in today, 7 o'clock in the morning, clock in. They request for me to go to the receiving office. I walk to the receiving office after I clock in. Anthony, the inventory guy, inventory boss Anthony, who for some reason is also the supervisor for the produce area, and Gabriella, or Gabby, who is also the supervisor for the produce area, was in the office with Dan. Then I get questioned. They'd ask me, did I actually ask Gabby if I was able to leave early? I said, no, I didn't. I just left. Oh, why was that? Why did you leave? Why did you leave? Because it was my scheduled time and I wanted to go home. That's what I responded with. The next question is, so you lied to me? Oh, I don't think I could trust you anymore. I'm going to have to suspend you for the day and you could come back tomorrow and decide. I would have decided what to do with you. And I respond with, to be fair, you guys haven't trusted me for a while now, because every time I leave the refrigerator to go pee, I get interrogated by Dan and Saudi. Every single time they ask me where I'm going, what I'm doing, like I'm some sort of child that needs babysat. And Saudi, the one time Saudi, my old boss, since I'm not working in the dry goods area anymore, I transferred out into produce, was interrogating me. I told him that both the bathrooms, one on receiving and one on shipping department, were taken up, and that I was walking across the building to go pee. He goes, Saudi, and says, oh, really? Let's go look then. Then I responded with, oh, I'm just walking an extra mile across the warehouse for no reason. And he leaves me alone. So much disrespect here is given to even the best workers they have. I don't stand around all day on my phone. I don't sit in the bathroom for half an hour on the toilet playing on my phone. I work Saturdays. I work 6 days a week. For the past 2 or 3 weeks, I've worked 6 days a week. But they just don't know how to empathize with their workers. They do not know how to respect them as actual human beings. We are not allowed to have a social life outside of work because they think everybody is the same as them. Because they are salaried, they are forced to work until the work is done. They come in at 6 o'clock and leave at 8 pretty much every day, or 6 to 6, 12 or 14 hours a day. See, I'm not a manager. I don't have to do that. But I guess they don't have. I don't like I said before in my previous videos. I do not know who promoted these people to be where they are. I do not know how they behave. They have become management because I will also mention something that happened when I first got hired in that I have been holding back for a while because it is a private issue that I do not want disclosed to YouTube. But since I plan on quitting tomorrow from all the shit that has happened today, I'm gonna just put it out there. So, when we first opened up this building, February 19th, 2025, I was one of the only workers they had there for about 2 weeks. And in those 2 weeks, my boss had quit. My immediate supervisor, who works underneath Saudi, quit. So I was without a supervisor. I had to deal immediately with Saudi, and for about a month afterwards, I was egging them on to promote somebody, anybody, to fill his shoes. Because after my boss, Ron, who had quit, they were having me train all the new people because I had a lot of qualifications. I am probably the most qualified people in there. I am more qualified than most of the management team there. And to prove that is the fact that I trained a lot of the management team there. That's what's funny about that is how they had someone like me, someone who was me, training the management team that they hired in. I had to train them how to use electric pallet jacks. Heck, my boss Saudi can't even use the sit down forklifts that we use for the freezer because he can't see over them. He can't see through the bars. So it's kind of confusing how this dude has become a floor manager or an ABM for short, that's what they call it there, if he can't even operate one of those forklifts. That is one of the many issues that I have come to deal with there. The fact that I end up training at least 5 people a week, 5 new people, because for some reason at this job, you get hired in even if you don't have any qualifications to do a job. You can be interviewed to operate something like a scissor lift for this job and haven't even operated it before in your life. Like, I have actually had to train somebody how to use a scissor lift before. That's not in my job description either. None of this crap has ever been in my job description in this place. See, I've done a lot of bull crap working here, a lot of pointless shit, and I get treated with no respect. It is absolutely insane. And the warehouse manager, Dan, decides to focus on one thing that I did wrong and suspend me for a day because of it. As if he hasn't ever told a lie to anybody before in his life. Now, if I do get fired for that tomorrow, I am going to sue because I wasn't even on the clock and I am being disciplined for something that I didn't even do while I was at work. That's what's crazy too about that. Anybody have a good workplace lawyer? Because I need one. Anybody have a good union? Because the union that works here with this place, Teamsters 318 or 314, whichever one of those two numbers, are non existent. See, us yellow vested workers at this warehouse, we're all supposed to be union, but yet we have no union rep in sight. It's kind of crazy, isn't it? Someone like me who's gonna get fired tomorrow, whether he likes it or not, is gonna be fired for lying to somebody. Can you believe that? And at this warehouse, they fired people over eating Pringles before, which is different because it's product that they sell. I didn't eat any Pringles. I never touched the goods. I've done a lot for this warehouse already, and I've been there for 2 months and like 5 days.